Hi everyone, and we're back with more Sword of Convaleria. So as I'm sure you all know by now, we've gotten developers notes put out recently, and there's one section of the developers notes that really caught my eye, and that's the part I want to discuss today. So one section of the developers notes discusses more character appearances, and what it says is, "We've heard your requests for more character appearances to help you personalize your favorite heroes, and we're thrilled to deliver. We're currently working on fresh new looks, with Inanna's new appearance launching in November. Stay tuned as we roll out vibrant styles to elevate your character customization." I'm actually really excited about this because Inanna's one of my favorite characters to use. She's actually the first legendary character I've ever summoned, and I've used her since the beginning. So I'm really interested to see what they come up with for her new skin. Actually, I'm excited to see what they come up with for the other characters as well, because they're basically saying that this is just the start of adding skins to the game. And we've already gotten two prior as well, so we can look forward to some good looking skins for other characters in the future. I think it's great to have new skins in the game just because it gets kind of boring using the same skin like all the time. I like being able to customize your character's looks, especially the characters that you really like to use. I think it's fun to be able to change their appearance every now and again. I do have some ideas of what they could do for Inanna's skin, and they can go in a couple of different directions. I'll throw in a spoiler alert here, just in case you haven't played through everything in the game. I'm not going to really talk about the story, but I will talk about the characters' appearances in Spiral of Destiny, etc. I think the most obvious option for them to do for Inanna's skin is to use something that already exists in the game. So for instance, Inanna does have a different appearance in Spiral of Destiny. I actually think this costume is pretty cute. There's something endearing about it, I don't know. I also like that it's very different from her original skin. I'm not really a fan when they just change the skin a little bit from their original outfit. I like when it's completely different. I mean, if we're going to purchase a skin, I'd rather it look completely different than just have a minor difference. If they use this for Inanna's skin, I don't think it's a bad option at all because they already have the artwork and the character sprite to do it. It means that they wouldn't have to remake new artwork and a new character sprite for something completely different. And I'm sure that a lot of us have looked at this character in Spiral of Destiny and wanted this as a skin for her. Again, this has a high probability of being the skin for her just because it already exists. So they can just use the assets they already have for the character design and the character sprite. I've also seen people use these pictures for tier lists. I always wondered if it was a new version of Inanna or if it was just the original version. There are other versions of characters, like Safia has another version. So that still could be true. It could just be a new version of Inanna, and the skin is completely different. But I do think this has potential for being what the exclusive skin is going to be for Inanna. They could, however, take this in a completely different direction. I think Beryl's skin is a good example. So for her, they did a completely new, unique design. So they could go the same direction with Inanna's skin and just make something completely new that we haven't seen before at all. And it could be anything. I mean, anytime you're making a new skin like this, you can be as creative as you want. They could take these designs anywhere, really. So this is still an option for them to do with Inanna since they've already done it once before with Beryl. For Call's skin, they didn't do anything really that special with it. It's just really a minor change. She's not wearing the hood and she doesn't have the mask on. That's about it. There's not much of a difference between the two skins. So they could do something really basic like this, where there's just a minor change to the way Inanna looks. I hope they don't go in this direction because I think it's kind of boring. I think if you put skins in a game, there needs to be more than just a color change or a minor difference. I prefer when they make completely new outfits like what they did with Beryl. I just think it's more fun when the character has a very different look. I'm always really intrigued and curious to see what they come up with skins in these games. And that's why I like kind of the surprise where there's a big change and there's a big difference between the skin that they're putting out and the character's original look. So these are two other options that they could do for Inanna's skin. There could just be a minor difference, which I hope they don't take this option. Or they could do something completely different like what they did with Beryl and give us a completely different design for Inanna that we haven't seen before. I'm pretty sure the Inanna skin is going to be a paid skin because both the Call and Beryl skins were paid skins. So it's not surprising that the Inanna skin will likely be a paid skin. This is one of the ways that gacha games monetize themselves, by selling cosmetics, so in other words, skins. This is not uncommon at all, and a lot of players actually prefer this type of monetization, especially since the skins don't offer anything in terms of stat boosts or anything like that. They're simply cosmetic in nature. They don't give any boost to the character, other than changing the way that they look. The format used for getting Calls and Beryl skins were different, so that's something I also want to go over, because they can use either of these formats for Inanna's skin. So for Call's skin, it was in the form of a battle pass, or what we can refer to as a skin pass. The main component of this pass is the skin. All of the other items in here are additives, and there are good items in the pass. It has a Castalia, it gives you Luxite, it gives you a frame, equipment, so there's actually a lot of other items in here. The pass costs 1,280 of the Astral Gems, which comes out to about $20. Between the skin and the items, you are getting quite a bit from this pass. But I personally feel if you don't want the skin, I'm not sure why you would pick up this pass. That's just my personal opinion on it. So this is one of the options that they can use for Inanna's skin. They could do it in this format, which isn't bad because you do get a lot of other items along the way that you can either use for her or that you can use for another character. They could choose to go a different route like they did with Beryl's skin, and for her skin, they used a gacha system format. If I remember correctly, for this one, you could use Luxite to buy tickets. I didn't do it personally, so I am not 100% sure on that, but if I remember correctly, I remember people saying that they spent Luxite to buy the tickets. I actually prefer the Battle Pass format, but for Inanna's skin, they could go in the same format that they did for Beryl's skin, or they can use a completely different format that we haven't seen before. It's really just a guessing game at this point. I do think that it's more likely that they'll use one of these two systems that they already have in place, rather than creating a whole new format just for Inanna's skin. You know, they're probably better off putting their efforts towards creating content for the game, rather than wasting time creating another system for a skin. So I think we're going to see one of these two systems for the skin, and Inanna's skin could be anything. I'm pretty excited to see what they came up with for Inanna's exclusive skin, and to see what character will get a skin next. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.